All right, it is Thursday. We are here with Anna Navarro at Behind the Table. She's got a laptop. I've got my phone. It's like dinner with my family. This is very exciting. Let's jump right into politics. There's been a lot of talk on the show about demolition at the White House. This is to make way for President Trump's new ballroom. And after originally saying the current White House structure wouldn't be affected, it seems now that the entire East Wing is going to be demolished as soon as this weekend. I know you've been to the East Wing many times. As we remember me talking about it, I got to go to the Christmas party last year.
Thank God you finally got invited
I know.
Last year before the East Wing disappeared.
I was looking at pictures last night. What do you make of the optics of this during the government shutdown or just overall? We were saying on the show today, imagine if Barack Obama had demolished a wing of the White House, what the outcry would be.
I mean, there's so many aspects to this. First, I'm heartbroken.
Yeah.
I'm just so sad. It's such a historic, beautiful place. And, a lot of people who come and visit the White House, foreigners who come and visit the White House, are always struck by the fact that we don't have a palace. We don't, have a castle. We don't have an emperor's house. We have the White House. And what's significant about the White House is all the things that have happened there, the history. And this particular entrance, the social entrance to so many of the functions at the White House, you would go in through that beautiful gate at the East Wing, and the Marine Band would be playing on either side, and they would decorate it beautifully for Christmas. But I went in there time and time again because it's the entrance that guests use for social functions. And you would see the pictures. Jackie Kennedy had put pictures in the hallway showing you the history of the White House, and you could peek through a door and see the presidential theater. I remember being in the East Wing, in the East Room, with going in to watch Whoopi's movie Till. I mean, there are so many significant things that have happened, and his utter disregard for process, for history. No wonder Republicans and Trump doesn't want history taught, because they just want to erase it and make it insignificant. His utter disregard for how people may feel, for the legacy of the presidents who have walked and the first ladies who have worked in that East Wing, and who have, just because his wife doesn't show up at the East Wing doesn't mean that there haven't been incredible things done by other first ladies and their teams.
I mean, you're joking, but that's where the office of the first lady was.
I'm not joking. She doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Maybe if she did and understood the significance of it, she could have talked him out of this. That's number one, the historical significance that he just doesn't care about and destroyed in one fell swoop. Two, he lied. He said he was not going to touch the East Wing. He said that he was going to build this ballroom, but that the place was going to remain untouched. The White House would remain untouched. That it would be near to it, but that the White House itself was remained untouched. So he lied yet again. Then, the lack of accountability and the fact that nobody can stop him. Think about it. He destroyed Jackie Kennedy's Rose Garden. And Republicans didn't say a thing, didn't bat an eyelash. So why wouldn't he think he can destroy the East Wing? I mean, my God, before he's gone, he might destroy the whole damn place. Well, he's destroyed democracy. It's also, there are other things that could have been done, right? Listen, that White House East Wing could have been preserved intact and given to a presidential library or given to the Smithsonian. It could have been preserved intact. We could have been able to have the public go into the East Wing. He destroyed it like if it was garbage, like if it had zero significance. Who the hell does this man think he is? He does not own this White House. We own this White House. Who the hell does this lame excuse for a president who is building himself a Mar-a-Lago knockoff in the White House think he is? I think this is outrageous. And if people are as heartbroken and outraged about this as I am, it is so necessary that they channel that anger to the voting booth, because what we need in this country that we sorely lack, and we have seen it the last 9 months, 10 months since he's been president, is accountability. The Republicans in Congress are incapable of standing up to him. They are incapable of providing opposition, of providing oversight. So if we want oversight and we want these abuses of power and these emperor-like attitudes to stop, we must elect a Democratic House and or Senate.
Now, the White House press secretary has pushed back on some of these people being upset, the outrage over it. It is outrage, saying that many presidents have made upgrades to the building while in office. They point to Obama building a basketball court, or the Rose Garden being put in, and in the 40s, they made some changes to the White House. What do you make of that as a counterpoint?
They didn't demolish the White House.
Yeah.
I mean,
fair.
Yeah, they did things to the interior. They did things to the exterior. Look, the next president that comes along, if it's a Democrat, could very well tear up that horrible Mar-a-Lago patio-looking thing, that pavement that he put over the Rose Garden, and the Rose Garden can be replanted again. It may not be exactly like, it might not be the rose bushes that Jackie Kennedy had planted there, but you can have an exact copy of the Rose Garden put in. The East Wing will never be replaced.
No.
It's getting replaced by some tacky, ginormous ballroom because Trump went to Europe and saw the big ballrooms that are there in the castles and palaces, and he wanted one for himself. It's so grotesque. It is so grotesque and so tacky, unacceptable. And again, not a peep from Republicans.
Another story this week is the Atlantic reporting that more than 1/3 of new ICE recruits were unable to pass the Academy's basic fitness requirements, which include completing at least 15 push-ups, 32 sit-ups, and a 1.5-mile run in under 14 minutes. The article cited internal emails that referred to some of the recruits as athletically allergic. I might have a slight athletic allergy myself. Does this surprise you?
No. Look up. And by the way, it's not just the physical exam that they're failing. It's also the civics exam. And I think if you are seeing the videos that are coming out of the interactions with ICE by immigrants and by American people, you see that there is lack of training. You see the lack of fitness, and you see the basic lack of understanding of civics and human rights and civil rights and constitutional rights and process. It is that helps you understand why it is that there have been at least 170 U.S. citizens scooped up. If you happen to be black or brown or speaking Spanish, God forbid, somewhere on the streets of America, you can be racially profiled by ICE, and they scoop you up and they will stick you into the back of a U-Haul, or they will detain you and put you in some detention center before you have a chance to prove that you are a U.S. citizen. I have seen videos of a black teenager in Chicago pinned to the sidewalk outside of a CVS because he happened to be inside the pharmacy while they came in. I have seen video of an elderly black U.S. citizen man who was scooped up and thrown with dozens others to the back of a U-Haul. We have heard about U.S. citizens, Puerto Ricans, who have happened to be scooped up because they were at the wrong place at the wrong time, looking the wrong way and speaking the wrong language. So they don't understand constitutional rights. I mean, the fact that they are, physically unfit is the least of it. They don't have the civic knowledge to be able to do this. They have lowered the standards, which is ironic, right? It is ironic because these are the same people, these, Republicans in charge are the same people who argue that the reason that diversity, equity, and inclusion is a bad thing is because it lowers the standards for black people and brown people and women and gays and you name it. And yet, here they are lowering the standards for ICE agents. I heard somebody online call them the other day ice cream agents. Because they look like they should be doling out ice cream, some of them. And you can see that some of the, people that they are targeting outrun them or like wave goodbye to them as they go out on bikes. That's why they're doing horrible things like ramming people. You have seen small children, Brian, think about this.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Small children zip-tied. You have seen U.S. citizen children. You have seen small U.S. citizen children left abandoned alone in cars on a highway in Illinois because their parents got taken away. It is inhumane. It violates basic human rights. And the people that are carrying this out, should we be violent against them? No. But should we call it out? Every single time we should call it out. And do not buy the talking point of the Trumpers that want to say over and over again that these are gang members and these are criminals. That is a lie. The numbers show that 75% of the people that have been apprehended have zero criminal record. And many of those that do have a criminal record, it's for things like pot possession. And very few actually have gang membership, gang affiliation, or criminal records. Like a very small amount.
You, from the beginning, supported removing people with violent criminals.
I think a lot of people voted for Trump because he said he was going to go after the worst of the worst.
Right.
He was going to close the border, which he has done, and I think people are happy at that. But he also said he was going to go after gang members, people he called barbarians, animals, the worst of the worst. He is not going against the worst of the worst. They are targeting school children.
Yeah.
They are targeting people, law-abiding people who show up for their immigration hearings. They are they are going down Canal Street. And then they say, right, like when they invade Chicago or they invade LA or they invade Portland, they say it's about crime. But it's not about crime. It's about immigration. The people that are getting picked up are the immigrants. And let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Have you heard yet, or have you seen video yet of a white, blue-eyed person getting erroneously scooped up?
No, I have
by
not
ICE?
seen that. No.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So then, it's absolutely racial profiling what is happening.
I can't disagree with you. I know you went to the Al Smith dinner. For those who don't know, it's an annual white tie charity event in New York City where political and social leaders gather to raise funds for Catholic charities. In an election year, usually the candidates go. You said you ran into some familiar faces. Some of them are people that mean something to me and maybe not to you, but tell me about it.
Well, I've heard about this dinner. I've seen it on TV before. My husband got invited and wanted to go, so we went. And it like you said, it raises funds for Catholic charities, which I think Catholic Charities does wonderful work. Mm-hmm. Catholic Charities, I think of New York. And then there's this, and it's always online. It's always you can always watch it online. Sometimes TV, there's TV coverage of it of the presidential.
Back in the day, yeah, presidential candidates used to go together, usually close to the election, and were relatively civil in the old days. That was kind of a part of it.
So there's like this humongous dais. Is it dais or dais?
Dais.
Okay, so there's this humongous dais. There's got to have been, 80 people, 90 people on that dais. A lot of them very powerful folks in business or organizations. Michael Bloomberg was there. Anthony Blinken, the former Secretary of State of Biden, and Pompeo, the former Secretary of State under Trump, first term, was there. Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, was there. John Bon Jovi was there. I took a picture with him. My God, is he hot. Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets, was there.
Oy.
And so, Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, was getting an award.
Oy. I'm a Giants fan. Yeah.
The Cardinal of New York, Dolan, was there. And so, I was sitting at a table below the dais. And during a break, when they were serving the meal, I went up more than anything to do two things. One, I wanted to thank Roger Goodell for picking Bad Bunny for the NFL halftime show and telling him just how meaningful this was. at this moment when the Latino community is under such attack, and what a great artist he is, and that I am convinced he's going to put on a hell of a show that's going to leave everybody amazed.
You were trying to get invited to the Super Bowl box, weren't you?
I don't want to go to the Super Bowl. I have
To
no
see Bad
interest.
Bunny, you don't want to go?
I'd rather watch him. First, I can't go because it's a Sunday.
And you have to work on Monday.
And I have to work on Monday.
Yes.
But, I am thinking of hosting a party, watching a Bad Bunny concert watching party here in New York. I'm thinking about it. But
All right. I'll clear my schedule.
I also wanted to, you have to learn the lyrics before I invite you.
All right, you have to learn how many downs there are in a football game. But yeah,
I'm
it's
not
fine.
there for the football game.
I know. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Can we focus?
Yes, we'll focus.
Okay, so I spoke to Roger Goodell, got to thank him briefly. Woody Johnson was there. In fact, and Woody I've known for a long time because he was very involved, and we traveled together a lot during the McCain campaign in 2008.
Oh, okay.
He was one of the top fundraisers for McCain, and frankly, I got to know him and really enjoy him. Obviously, we're on different sides now. He is a staunch Trump supporter, was Trump's ambassador to England during the first term. And, I was talking to Woody, telling him, you got to tell Trump to lay off. What's happening with the Latino community is horrific. It's, what we are seeing is just the most un-American scenes that the entire world is witnessing. And Woody mentioned that he had just been with Trump the night before. In fact, I'm sure Woody's one of the donors to this ballroom because the night before, Trump had an event at the White House with the donors
That's right.
for the ballroom. And, and Woody told me I have to lay off Trump and that I'm very critical. And I said to him something that I feel very strongly, which is that it is very different. It is very different to be a white billionaire man in this country than it is to be a brown Latina immigrant.
Did he acknowledge that?
I don't know if he understands this, but I think it's one of the problems that Trump has. That, he surrounds himself by an inordinate amount of white male billionaires. And so he doesn't understand the pain of regular Americans. He doesn't, he's just completely tone deaf to what people are going through. And the owner of Home Depot was also there. And I said to him, my God, when are you going to tell Trump to stop rounding up people who are, shopping at Home Depot, who are standing in front of a Home Depot? And his answer was, this is a country of laws. Which again, I go back to the same point, which I also said to him. It is very different to be a white billionaire man than it is to be a brown immigrant person in America right now. And it shouldn't be. So, of course, I come back to the table. My husband is agog.
Yeah.
Just like saying, what was that? And,
He really can't take you anywhere, Anna.
You know something? I have to tell you, and I said to him what you say, that is that I have no concept of deference to powerful people. And I got to tell you, Brian, and I mean this truly, I don't think I am better or more important than anyone. And I don't think anybody's better or more important than I am. Maybe they have more money. Maybe they are more famous. Maybe they have more jewels. Maybe they have more access right now to the presidency. But I truly believe in equality. I don't care. It also kind of goes back to this thing about Trump being surrounded by all of these billionaires, and that's who he hangs out with. That's who's on his cabinet. Those are the people he respects. Those are the people he has around him in Mar-a-Lago and in his clubs. The people who can pay the $1 million+ initiation fee. He does not understand these federal workers who are having to make lines around the block to go to a soup kitchen. How can we possibly call ourselves the greatest country in the world when people who work for our government are going hungry and having to make lines for hours in order to eat? When I was flying up here this week, I was speaking to the TSA agents at Miami International Airport. So far, they have been partially paid.
I was wondering,
So
yeah.
maybe they've been paid, maybe they've worked 5 days and gotten paid for 3. but they're expecting to start getting paid nothing. And imagine the loyalty and sense of duty and patriotism of these people who show up to work knowing that they may not get paid. And for the first time since there have been government shutdowns, Trump and Republicans are actually toying with the idea of not issuing back pay.
Yeah.
I mean, who would show up to work without getting paid? Would you?
No, I would not. Not this job, no.
None of your hosts would.
I'd probably do the podcast still, but no, I wouldn't do
So
the rest of my job.
I don't think Trump understands that.
Yeah.
He has no concept of what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. He was the privileged son of a wealthy man and grew up with all of those benefits. He has no concept what it's like to have to cut medication in half. Has no concept what it's like to have to figure out what bill you are paying or not paying. We're reading that, that billionaires are spending more at the same time that that people with less money, we are seeing more car defaults than we have.
Sure.
We are, all of the
No, it's a hard
indications are
economic
there
time
that
now.
people are hurting. And so at the same time that this is happening, for him to be going through this 250 million, 300 million, he says now, renovation, destruction of the White House, for him to be talking about getting a $230 million payout from the Department of Justice, which he has stacked with his own people. I mean, at what point do the American people say enough is enough? He is bailing out Argentina while American farmers are hurting, farmers who supported him. At what point do the American people say we're not going to put up with this?
I've asked this on the podcast a couple times this week. Do you think, are we seeing a change yet? Are we at that point or not yet?
Look, I think we are seeing a change. I saw it on the streets of America. I saw it in the streets of New York at that No Kings parade that I attended last Saturday. You see it in the election results and, the special elections that we are seeing around the country.
Yeah.
You are seeing it, which, by the way, it is ignominious that they still have not sworn in Adelita Grijalva, the woman from Arizona, who would be the last vote for the discharge petition on the Epstein files. So I think we are seeing a change. But you know what we're also seeing and not talking about enough? Republicans rigging the district map, redistricting congressional districts, not just in Texas. They're doing it in North Carolina.
Yep.
They're doing it all over the country to try to game the system. And you know why they're doing it? Because they know they are losing the American people.
All right. We have to ask about how the Burger Bash went last week.
Okay. So, I confessed to you.
Yes.
That I'm not a
burger
fan.
person. Sure.
And I've completely changed my mind.
Yes.
I've decided I need to expand my horizons. The Burger Bash was extraordinary. It was part of the New York Wine and Food Festival, which is founded and organized by my best friend Lee Schrager, and it's raised millions of dollars for great causes. So you get to eat and drink for a good cause. And I had no idea what judging a burger contest or any contest like this entailed. So it was 6 judges. I was sitting next to Ja Rule, who, of course, I had no idea who he was. Turns out he's a big deal,
very big deal
singer, but he is lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, what a nice guy. He's my new best friend. He's now in Greece. We're texting. He wants to send us some of his scotch. He's got a scotch called Amber Opal, which is delicious. But anyway, so I'm tasting all of these burgers, and they're surprisingly good. And I'm having this conversation with Ja. And by the way, his name is like Jeff Atkins.
I just like that you call him Ja.
Well, because I got a phone call from him, and it said Jeff Atkins, and I didn't pick it up because I don't know who the hell Jeff Atkins is. Well, it's Ja. Anyways, I'm talking to Ja, who's sitting, and I'm saying, "What are you looking for?" And we agree that what we want on a burger is simplicity.
Yes.
We don't want fancy things. We don't want gold leaf. We don't want caviar. We don't want that. And then each of the judges, there were 6, in the first round, we each tasted 3 burgers, picked our favorite, and then all 6 of us tasted those 6 burgers. And so Ja, after telling me he wanted simplicity, picked a burger with truffle.
No.
Somebody else picked a burger which just violates all my rules. It's like this French burger, but I've seen.
You told me it's like gone viral on TikTok or something, right?
I've seen afterwards that it's incredibly popular, but it's an English muffin. An English muffin is not a burger bun.
No.
And there should be no bechamel sauce on a burger.
I would agree.
It's called the French onion soup burger. So we
have the winner here.
This is
very exciting.
2025 winner of the Burger Bash from Skinny Louie.
Ooh.
It is
You're gonna have a piece of this, or?
No, I want you to try it.
I'm gonna try.
Tell me how you
try
feel
it.
about this.
Thank you.
Try the burger before you try the sauce. Just the burger.
Okay. It's a very good burger.
Okay, so that's Ja Rule's truffle burger.
Oh, it is.
Yes,
I like it.
It won the entire thing. It was delicious.
It's very, very good.
And so now I consider myself a burger connoisseur.
Yeah, I think you should.
I've told Lee I want to judge the Burger Bash in Miami, which is in February.
I may have to come.
It was delicious. You want to be my Sue
Maybe I will.
taster?
Your Sue taster? This is great.
What are you looking for in a burger, and what does that burger have?
Well, the cheese is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really good. It's got flavor in the beef, which is it's not bland in any way. I don't know. It's kind of like, when you see it. We talked about this last time, and we went to. It's funny because I went to L.A. last week for the daytime Emmys, which we lost to our talented coworkers at Live. My tradition is that I go to In-N-Out Burger after losing, and I did it. And for the first time, In-N-Out Burger didn't meet the level for me. I waited like an hour and a half to get my burger, and it wasn't good enough. This would have been good enough.
You know what else I like about that? The size. Because I think there's all of those burgers that you just can't fit into your mouth. Believe me, I fit a lot of things into my mouth, but there are burgers that I just can't fit into my mouth. I need a burger that is manageable, that is not going to fall apart when you eat it, right? You don't want to be wearing the burger on your face. And that the meat is tasty. I mean, just the simplicity of it.
It's
meat,
great.
Cheese, sauce, and bun.
This is fantastic.
And truffle.
By the way, this gives me an idea because I see the comments people make whenever we have food on the show, and they get very angry. Why aren't they feeding the audience? They're eating in front of the audience. It's rude. It's horrible.
They're eating the cats.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the burgers. Here's the thing. I can't feed the audience because there are liability issues. What if there's an allergy? There could be, someone could choke. We can't do it. I would love to feed everybody in the audience. They don't let us do it. But that's the reason.
Yeah, we could get sued, basically.
Yes, exactly.
I ran into Michael Simon.
He'll be on the show soon.
Michael Simon at the festival, and he was very excited. He says he's coming on for our Thanksgiving.
Yep, he's always one of our favorites.
Episode. I love him. That's the best laugh in the food industry, and I told him I need help with my baked feta. I'm having a very difficult time handling phyllo. Or is it phyllo?
I don't know. On that note, thank you for joining me today, Anna. I'm going to sit here and eat some more. Tomorrow,
I think Chacha wants some burger too.
She can have some for sure.
Give me some.
All right, here you go. Tomorrow on The View, we have ABC News' own Deborah Roberts and the very funny comedian Roy Wood Jr., who we saw at the White House Correspondents' Dinner last year.
Back when there was White House Correspondents.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was. Yeah, it was.
It was last year.
Was he the last
Oh, no, was he
one?
last year or 2 years ago? It was 2 years ago. You're right. It was before then. Or even longer. But
this year, was there a White House Correspondents' Dinner?
Yes.
That Trump didn't go to.
No.
Or any of his people.
No, but I did go.
You see, another thing he destroyed. He destroyed the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He destroyed the East Wing. He's destroyed universities. He's destroyed law firms. He's destroyed what institution? What does he touch?
Burgers
that doesn't
still exist.
Burgers still exist.
Still exist.
Hurry up before they turn into tofu.
We'll see you on Behind the Table next week. Thank you, everybody.
Behind the Table is executive produced by Brian Teta. Supervising producers are Nathan Getty and Summer Shade. Associate producers are Emily Darcy and Katerina Alexopoulos, and our editor is Brian Davis. Our digital coordinator is Molly Kaiser, and director of publicity is Laurie Hogan. From ABC Audio, Trevor Hastings serves as senior producer, with director of podcast programming Josh Cohan and executive producer Laura Mayer.